What's crack-a-lack in Ridge Runner Nation? Welcome back to another prediction video. And this one is a special one. We've got a guest joining me tonight. Nick, how are you doing?
Doing good, Wes. Glad to be back. It's been a little while talking to Ridge Runner Nation here.
This is going to be a fun one. When we were thought about doing a Western States 100 prediction video, there's only one person that's suitable to do it. And that's the only person that in Ridge Runner Nation that we appreciate and love that lives west of the Mississippi. And that's you, Nick. Our motto, all things trail and ultra east of the Mississippi, except for Nick Voss. We had to get you on here to do a prediction video with you. And it's going to be a fun one to break down this year's Western States 100. Obviously, the Super Bowl of ultra running in general, the oldest ultra and all of oldest 100, I should say, in all of the U.S. So I'm excited to kind of dive into it. Nick, what are your outstanding thoughts? Just before we dive into the predictions, what are you most looking forward to seeing this year at the race?
Yeah, I think it's what some of the competitors have been talking about leading up to it. Is it's been 2 years since they've all gotten together, and obviously a really profound year last year where if races did happen, everything looks so different. And I think everybody's just really excited for everybody to get back and feel that community, almost, I hate the word, but normal. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm super excited to track the results, all weekend long. It's fun. Being in group chats, talking to people and being like, oh yeah, this person's 2 minutes up, are they gonna hold on? It's just a lot of fun. It's one of those exciting weekends where everyone kind of just bands together and roots for their top athletes, which is super exciting to see in the sport.
Yeah, and I guess we got to mention too, this is the first year that there's going to be live commentary. Sounds like throughout the whole race, at least until the top 10 men and women finish. So shout out to Debo and crew there doing that live broadcast. It'll be kind of interesting, a lot better than just scrolling Twitter and refreshing the live tracker like we've always done before.
Oh, anytime I can get some Debo commentary, I'm all about it. So I'm excited to tune into that as well. Nick, let's dive straight into the predictions here. Nick, you're the official predictor here for the Western States 100. Do you want to start on the men's side, women's side? Where do you want to start, and how many predictions are we doing here? Break it down.
Let's I don't know. I don't think I'm an expert picker by any means. But
hey, neither are we.
I followed the sport pretty close the last 7 or 8 years that I've known about it, at least, which is not very long time. So let's just start with the women. I'm really excited with the race up front for the women. So let's just throw in top 5 women first here.
Boom, 5th place. Who do you got?
5th place, I'm going with a veteran from last year's top 10. I'm going to pick Kat Drew. She's just really, really solid runner from BC, Canada. And I think she's just going to improve on her finish from 2019, I guess it was.
So is that what you're looking for in your picks when you're making these predictions? Are you looking for someone with past experience, coming in that's done the race before, is coming back, and then going to totally just shatter their previous performance and go higher into the top 10 per se?
Yeah, I think it really helps, especially for the Western States course, because you kind of go through such different parts of the course. Having been out there a few years back, it really does get significantly hotter in the canyons, and I've seen kind of how those struggles go. So I think experience matters, and then just looking at recent results too, like a solid 50K or 100K leading in is always a good indicator too.
Well, awesome. Just so Ridge Runner Nation knows your breakdown, how you became this expert analysis, as always. 4th place, who do you got?
4th place, I got a Boulder, Colorado local here for me. I got Abby Hall, which a lot of people might not know the name, but she is a runner for Adidas Terex, and she did some really big efforts last year, including the JMT, which is over 200 miles. So she's definitely got the grit to grind it out. I don't think she's going to front run, but she's going to be kind of a moving up person to watch. And I got her 4th.
That's gonna be super exciting to see. I mean, she's someone who's gonna totally, like you said, kind of grind it out. And big concern that you brought up to me is the leg speed. You know, a lot of these names, a lot of people know, and they have the leg speed. So my big concern is, will she have that? What do you think, Nick?
I mean, she's definitely a fast runner. So she's got the leg speed. I don't know. She seems like a smarter runner to me. But who knows? Maybe she'll mix it up front too.
I mean, it's Western States. You got to go for it. So we're excited to see her go for it. Number 3, who do you got?
Number 3, I'm going with Brittany Peterson, second place in 2019. I'm a little worried. She just put in a 50 plus mile training run just 2 weeks ago. So 2 weeks out from the race is a little close to the fire, I think, which is why I don't have her higher, honestly. But that's probably my riskiest pick for the top 5, even though she's got the experience and solid results as well.
She's someone who I think could honestly just win this race. Obviously what she's done in the previous experience at the course, I think she's someone who could totally just run away with it. Obviously 50 miles 2 weeks out for some people is bread and butter. Some people really gain confidence going into it. And some people, it's like you said, a little too close to the fire, a little too many cooks in the oven. And it's just interesting to see. So it's going to be interesting to see what she does out there. Yeah, we'll see. Runner up, Nick, who do we got?
Runner up, I got probably my favorite ultra runner in the entire field, Claire Gallagher. She's just exactly what you would want to look up to in the sport, and she likes to let it rip too, and she's not afraid to really suffer, and she truly looks forward to it. It seems like. So, Claire G, second place.
Can't argue with that pick at all. Who's taking home the win?
With the win, it's going back to a little bit of course familiarity, at least recently, and then also really, really solid result recently in the Canyons 100K. She's been living near Auburn for at least a few months, maybe if not most of this year. So I've got Beth Pascal taking the win. I think she's going to put it together, although I know that's also a risky pick. The international contingent historically has not fared very well at Western States.
Living in that area though for basically this entire year has got to help that. I mean, that's not like a normal situation where you're coming in from overseas per se and trying to run the race. So that's definitely going to hopefully bode well for it, right?
Yeah, and that's exactly what Lucy did back in 2018. Lucy Bartholomew, she lived there pretty much the entire spring leading up, and it bode well for her. She ended up in third place that year too. So yep, Beth Pascal with the win.
I would love to see it. Can't wait till it comes true. Nick Voss breaking down the women's top 5 this year at the Western States 100. Let's dive over to the men now. This is going to be another super stacked field, as it always is. I mean, come on, it's Western States. But who do you have finishing 5th this year?
So 5th place, another one of my favorite runners, and he happens to be from the East Coast. I'm going with Patrick Reagan, who's got some course experience. He had a top 10 a couple years ago, and has just incredible speed. He's run some low 13-hour 100 miles, that's for sure. So I think he's going to be right up there, mixing it up, taking 5th place.
It's a great pick. From Savannah, Georgia. A couple of the people we've had on RRLive are actually some of his athletes, which is kind of cool to see. So it will be kind of awesome to see him out there. 4th place, who do you got?
4th place is another guy, a fan favorite. I know, especially I know this is one of Travis Zippel's favorite runners, but Tim Tollefson. I think he's gonna be exactly the same type of runner as Abby Hall on the women's side, and end up in that same position, working his way up all day. Not a fast starter, but he will be there, and he's a California guy, so he doesn't have too far to travel for the race, and looking forward to seeing Tim crack that top 5.
Well, hopefully Travis can loan Tim one of his horses, because he may need it for this race.
And first Western States attempt for Tim, no disrespect to him. I think he's certainly got the talent to win it as well.
For sure. It's going to be exciting to see it all unfold before our eyes. 3rd place, who do you got?
Third place, I got a Colorado guy, Alex Nichols. A lot of people don't know Alex super well, and I think it's because he's really, really, the word I'm looking for. He chooses his races really carefully. He doesn't necessarily just go out there to run it just because other guys are running it or anything like that. But when he shows up and he really puts in focused training blocks, he's going to contend every single time, and he's super consistent. So I got Alex Nichols finishing third.
I feel like you've been on the Alex Nichols train now for a while now. Do you remember the first time you kind of either encountered him in person or kind of came across his results and were like, wow, okay, this guy's actually a guy here that's going to just totally take over the scene?
Yeah, I can't really remember specifically. I just know that he was kind of one of those guys that popped up. I know he lived in the Steamboat area for a while and was around the Run Rabbit race, and he's just one of those guys that started off really young. Running ultras, and has just been really consistent under the radar. Has been running ultras now for like 12 or 13 years. Just with really solid performances, and he's done a lot of international racing too. So he's been on big stages, even if some of the races here in the US are smaller, that he's done well in.
Well, we love to see that. Second place, who do we got?
Second place, now we're getting into the speed demons, the guys that can just go out there and just cook it. So I've got Hayden Hawks going in, putting it together for a really solid Western States run. I like him to go, somewhere in that maybe 14:30 range. Really close to what the course record was before that guy Walmsley came around.
That would just be something else to see. What do you like? What do you like most about Hayden, especially going into the race this year?
Well, I think Hayden put up a super good result at JFK in the fall, and that's just something that he's built on. He lives in southern Utah, and he experiences hot weather, desert environment. So I think he's just suited really well. It's just going to come down to him managing 100 miles really well, and I think he puts it together this time.
Well, it's going to be exciting to see it. First place, who do you got it going to?
First place, taking the win, I'm going with a guy with East Coast roots. We're going with Jared Hazen. I know everybody knows Jared Hazen's name now after he also went under course record in 2019. And I think, he's had some inconsistent runs recently, but the birds are chirping saying that he's really fit and really ready to put it together. And I think he's just gonna run a really solid race. My only concern is how fast Jim takes it out. And I have Jim missing from the top 5. Number one, because it's not really fun to pick Jim anymore. But number two, I think I just don't know. I'm definitely just speaking for Jim here, but I don't know that Jim's really interested in just winning Western States anymore. I think he's really interested in going under 14 hours, which is just insane. I mean, I know he wasn't that far off with 14:09 in 2019, but it's supposed to be hot. It's going to be a rough day. There's no snow in the high country, so it's going to be faster up high and early in the race. But I think it's more likely that he's going to just take it out too fast. So hopefully that doesn't influence Jared too much, and he can just be confident knowing running his race. But I think he'll end up with the win.
Nick Voss coming on prediction video, Western States. It wouldn't be a prediction video, especially a Ridge Runners one. If we didn't have some crazy off the wall take. Jim Walmsley, not even in Nick Voss's top 5. What is happening right now?
Well, and Jim let us all in on a little secret. He was just on a live show this week and said that he'd been dealing with a little bit of an injury recently too. So I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it did last year. Last year going in, I was like, oh my gosh, Jim is just gonna totally annihilate this. And we all saw his training on Strava, and he's been silent the last few months since that injury, and it's just I don't know. Just got a feeling that it's not going to be Jim there this year.
Well, I bet people really be tagging you in all kinds of social media posts when Jim takes home the win. If he does this year, it'll be fun to see. Those predictions are awesome, Nick. Thanks for coming on here and doing these. It was fun. Before we get out of here, we do want to do some East Coast predictions. I want to highlight some names that are some of the bigger names on the East Coast that are coming out west that are going to be definitely in the mix. And I'm going to start off with Michelle Magana. She was our Originals Live guest. I mean, this is going to be her debut 100 miler, which is just a crazy thing to say. I mean, how many people have their debut 100 as Western States? It's going to be awesome. She got her golden ticket at the Bandera 100K. It was awesome to talk to her and learn about her running story and kind of how she found it and just everything that she's done recently. So keep your eye out for Michelle. Another name is Sarah Kais, another previous Originals Live guest, and she got her golden ticket at Black Canyons Ultra, where she finished third actually, but still got the golden ticket there. And she's someone who's just absolutely going to go for it. Like, she's not going to hold back. She's never afraid of the moment. She's New York runner. She's going to just go out to Western and just absolutely crush it. So we're excited to see how Michelle and Sarah do out on the big stage. Another big name coming out west, Shannon Howell. And Nick, I'm going to let you take over.
Let's go. Yeah, it's really excited to see Shannon go after it, and hopefully she puts together a really special run, and then she can be a future Ridge Runners Live guest after Western States.
We need to get Shannon on the show. She would be an amazing guest, and we're super excited to see what she does out there. Good luck, Shannon. A couple of other names. Zandy Mangold, a couple people may remember him. He ran Mohican 100 a couple years back. He's a New York resident. He will be out there. Tim Spalding, he's a stud from Virginia. The Virginia running scene knows him extremely well, which is awesome to see. And then two other Ohio names that jumped off the page to us was Von Steen and Jay Smithberger. Good luck to those guys out there. It's going to be an epic day following everyone along at the Western States 100 this year. Nick, what are your final thoughts here?
I got one more shout out. A guy with Ohio roots. He's actually from my hometown, Pickerington, Ohio. He lives out here in Colorado now, but really solid runner. You might recognize the name from 200 mile fame, but Kyle Curtin is going to be out there. And, a guy who doesn't have, that top end speed, but super gritty, and he could work his way up into that top 10 or top 20 range.
Well, there it is. Those are our official Ridge Runners Western States 100 predictions. If you want to see more of these West Coast races, I know we're all things East Coast, but if you want to see more West Coast featured race prediction videos with our superstar Nick Voss here, let us know in the comments below. Like this video, subscribe to us on YouTube if you haven't already. It's going to be super fun. Obviously, this whole weekend tuning into it. So tune in. It's exciting. It's inspiring to see everyone out there absolutely crushing it. So it's going to be fun. Nick, we'll see you on the next one.
Yeah, if you're watching on Saturday, hop on Instagram, let us know how our picks are going.
All right, until next time. See you guys.